Determining the price of gas at the pump can be a complicated jigsaw puzzle. There can be a truly dizzying amount of information that goes into that one price. So in order to distill that information and understand how and why prices at the pump change, we need some context. My name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in Context. Now, if anything I talk about sounds interesting and you want to learn more, I have links to all my sources right below that like button. Okay, so when it comes to determining the price that you see at the gas station, there are four major factors. 1, the cost of crude oil. Number 2, refining costs and profits. Number 3, distribution and marketing costs. And number 4, taxes. Let's start with the cost of crude oil because it makes up the bulk of the cost. In fact, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration in 2020, it made up 43% of costs. There are a variety of factors that determine the cost of crude oil, but the core concept behind it is something we talk about often here on In Context, and that is supply and demand. On the supply side, we, the US, import our crude oil from a few different places. In 2020, the top 5 countries the US imported oil from were Canada at 61%, Mexico at 11%, Saudi Arabia at 8%, Colombia at 4%, and Iraq at 3%. We also get about 15% of our crude oil from a conglomerate of 14 nations called the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. Now, the amount of crude oil available can fluctuate due to political instability, a natural disaster, a new oil reserve found, and so much more. On the demand side of things, anything that makes people consume less gas will affect prices. More electric vehicles, better public transit, or something we all know very well, a pandemic. Next, refining costs and profits. Now, the crude oil the US imports needs to be put through a refining process before it can be used in your vehicle. Refining costs and profits can vary from region to region. Different states will use different formulas to comply with different air quality standards. Also, gasoline prices can be affected by the other costs of ingredients that may be blended into the gasoline, such as fuel ethanol, and these were about 25% of all gas costs in 2020. Now we have marketing and distribution costs, which is the smallest part of the pie at 10% of all costs in 2020. This is basically how the gas gets from a refinery to a pump near you. And it's also how companies can tell you, hey, there's gas here. The total cost of doing business by individual gasoline retailers can vary greatly depending on where the gasoline fueling station is located. These factors include wages, equipment, rent, etc. Even gas stations close together can have different traffic patterns, rent, and sources of supply that can affect their prices. And lastly, we have taxes, which make up about 25% of at-the-pump costs in 2020. They are a mix of state, local, and federal taxes, which means these taxes not only vary from state to state, but also on the city and county level. It is noticeable when a gas tax goes up or down. For example, in order to ease prices here in Georgia on March 18th, Governor Brian Kemp signed a law that would temporarily suspend the gas tax. This gas tax suspension would end on May 31st and save drivers an estimated $400 million. So I hope going over the different pieces and parts that actually make up the price of gas helped put in context why the prices are what they are. If you want more details on anything we talked about, like I said before, links to all my sources are in the description down below, or if you want a follow-up video on any one individual part, leave a comment down below and let us know. And hey, while you're down there leaving that carefully worded comment, go ahead and press that subscribe button if you haven't already, press the like button if you liked this video, favorite if you really liked it. But as always, my name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in Context.